Hey guys, Ron here. Pretty soon, in the next month or so, we're going to be getting a couple of little piggies. Mandy's super excited about that, but as you can see, we don't really have a fenced-in area designated for pigs. So we're going to be working on building that out. We're going to build it out of this 4x4 sheep and goat fence. I think it'll work fine. If not, we can kind of close it in a little bit with some other wire. But what you're going to need: can of spray paint, big 100-foot tape measure is what I got. Use whatever you got that's probably over 20 feet. You'll work yourself to death if you got a short tape measure. And then some string and a little screw tied to it. Okay, so I want my fence to tie into the back side of my shop here. We want to come out square with this shop, or a straight line all the way back to the corner of our property, and then we're going to turn 90 degrees, go over 100, 125 feet or so, and then 90 degrees back and tie it into the house. Then we'll have just a nice square pen that we could split into two whenever we get our male pigs, to keep them separated unless we want to breed them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by taking a screw, sticking it right here in my tin, where I'm pulling a straight line all the way back. What this will allow me to do is keep all of my T-posts marked. I measure off and mark where I want to drive my T-post. Oh, there's a tree there. And then also keep them all in a straight line so that the fence is straight and doesn't have a bunch of zigzags. I'll have to have Mandy drop the camera here in a minute. Anyway, this is the corner of our property, nice straight line. Okay, you can cut that. Okay guys, so I forgot to add that you're going to need some sort of pipe or post or something to drive in on the corner, so that you have something to keep your string nice and tight for whenever you're marking off the distances that you're wanting to drive your T-post. So this is the corner. From here we're going to turn and go that way. Right now, just drive it down. It doesn't have to be anything special, just something that can hold a little bit of tension. Not going to stay here. You're going to be replacing this with your 4x4 corner post. That should be plenty good. If you don't know what's on your property, you might want to call the 411 number, or the guys that come out and locate, because you don't want to drive your pipe into your electrical or your water or anything like that. I know that there's nothing back here. All of my utilities are up in the front of the house, so we're safe to drive that in. From there, I'm just going to pull that real nice and tight. Put a quick little hitch in it. And from there, it's taut, and we can go back, we can measure. I think I want to set my posts at 8 feet, drive them in. I'm going to take the post hole diggers, dig down 2 feet, drive the 4x4s in. Then we're going to put a little angle so that it matches my other fence that I already did. And we'll get back with you guys. Okay, so now I got my 100-foot tape measure. I'm going to mark it, hook it on the same spot here that my string is. Got a dog messing with my string. I'm going to walk it out. I think it's long enough. Probably only about 75 feet or so. Oh, almost 100 feet. Lay that guy out right there. Pretty tight. Back up here, get our spray can, and then I can mark off my 8-foot increment for my T-post. Okay, after thinking about it, we're thinking about 6 or 8 feet. My dog fence that I built previously, my T-posts are at 8 foot. Watch out for those killer chickens back there. So I think that I'm going to make them the same, make it 10 feet. It's 4x4. It's the field fence where the wire's wrapped. It's not welded, so it's very strong. And I think it'll be fine. We get it tight, pulled on the corner post, put the T-post in the middle and strap it down to it. They're pigs. They're not Tyrannosaurus Rexes. They're not going to break out of the fence. So what I'm going to do is mark off. I'll put my tape measure back there. Got my rattle can go in here. Mark off, take 10 feet right underneath the rope. Make a little mark. So now I know exactly where to drive each one of my T-posts. 20 feet. 10 plus 10 is 20. Out for my little dog. Okay, so what's that, 8, 9 T-posts? Picked up these T-posts from a local flea market area, like $3 cheaper than they had them at Lowe's. So if you guys are gonna build a fence, I encourage that you shop around for maybe even used T-posts. A lot of people use them and then pull them out, or buy them and don't use them and then want to sell them. If you guys want to go cheaper, check your flea markets. So we finished walking around the property with our string and with our tape measure, marking our locations for our T-posts. I did forget to mention that we were putting in 10-foot vehicle gates so that I was able to get my truck in here with any kind of lumber, or pulling the ark, which is a camper, some future stuff coming on that, a camper for loading animals in. But so we're gonna drive our T-post. I just stuck this in the ground just by force. Recommend that you certainly have a T-post driver. This one's new. Loaned my old one to someone and didn't get it back. I have done this with a sledgehammer before. I don't recommend it. It's terrible. But the T-post driver, if your ground's relatively soft, doesn't take a lot of effort to drive it down. I know that my wire, I've got 4-foot wire. I got a 4-foot level. I've got to go down a little bit further. It's much easier to go down than it is to go up with these T-posts. I want all the top of them to be flush with the top of the wire. So a good way to measure your depth, and also to make sure that your T-posts are pretty level. Of course, you can bend them a little bit once you've got them seated in the ground. A little bit more. Just about right. Let's go this way. Pretty close. Get back. A little more. I like it. Now only 50 more to go. Hey friends, so now we're going to be setting our corner posts. They're going to be these 4x4, 8 foot tall. I can cut them off at 4 foot. I'm burying them 2 foot in the ground. A little helpful pointer whenever you're digging holes, keep them the same depth. Just take a piece of tape or something that's bright. Go ahead and measure out. I'm burying mine 2 feet, so I measured out 2 feet, and I marked that piece of tape right at 2 feet. So as I'm digging, I know to stop when I get to that piece of tape to level grade. So here we go. All right, a little free cardio in there, these post hole diggers. But enlisted the help of my brother-in-law here. We're pouring concrete in these posts. I know most of you like to mix your concrete up in a wheelbarrow or a concrete mixer if you've got one. I don't think this matters. I'm just filling in, making sure the post is level and plumb, and then wetting it down. And the moisture will do the rest and setting the concrete. Put it on at the grandma level.
Wait, what?
Right beside you.
Oh,
Pen. Whoa. That's swampy. Whoa. That long. It goes.
and we're back. We've got all of our corner posts set, cemented in. Got the little angle pieces that I have cemented in. Just waiting for that to cure. In the meantime, we're driving in the rest of these T-posts that we marked off last time we saw you guys. See you in a little bit. So after much thought and a shirt change, I've decided that I want to do something different here on the front of the farm area. When I drove this post in, I'd originally intended to put wire on the front, but thinking about it and wanting a little bit of separation from the house or living area back to the farm area, especially for Miss Mandy, because I know this will be kind of her Garden of Eden or her place to go and unwind and relax a little bit. Just want to give her a little separation, you know, that dream place that she'll be walking into. That being said, this was the very first pole that I drove in, you know, a few minutes ago at the beginning of this video, and we got to figure out a way to get this out of the ground. Now, I do have a 4x4 post back here to put in its place, cement it in, so that I can attach some wood to it. But I want to save this post. I need it over on the other side where I was one short, and instead of buying one, I'm going to reuse this one. I don't want it bent up in any way, so I reckon Ron has to come up with a way to get this out of the ground. So now that we got this T-post removed and we can successfully use it over here, I've got to go put that guy in, as well as dig this hole, plant this 4x4, cement him in, get it cured up so that we can finish the front of this. In the meantime, got to get the rest of those posts put up. You guys hang on. If you like the video, like, subscribe, comment. Can't wait to see you next time. We know the importance of a good fence. When we lived in Louisiana on a farm, I put up a wire fence, 4-foot wire fence, and one day a great big mama cow jumped over it. It was an utter disaster.